Dan's dead now. I'm taking over the channel. Doing cooking videos, get ready with me's, makeup, reviews. All that stuff.
Hello, members of the Daniel Films Industrial Complex. This will be the last video I will be releasing whilst I am in Bedfordshire. I know, it's crazy, right? But for this one, after weeks of what I like to call filler uploads, I'm going to be doing something special and reading a very cool short story that I still haven't finished writing yet at time of filming. And if you judge me for it, this community is very small, so I probably know where you live at this point. Thank you very much, and the story will start now. Wrong. The video is actually going to properly start after I've had this glass of water. So, how have you been lately? What's up with airplane food, man? I went to France. It's basically America, but with less big stuff. It's just roads and random enormous supermarkets just in the wilderness. There was this random goose that kept trying to get under our car, like under the wheels of the car, as we were trying to drive it away. It was crazy. On the last day I saw it, I told it it had been talking mad shit for someone with such a snappable neck. Anyways, I'm going to finish this glass of water now. There are 2 other people with me in this studio that I'm holding hostage. If I don't get to 10,000 subscribers in 1 minute from this uploading, they're dead. As the car had rolled into the farmhouse driveway and the headlights dimmed out against the moon shining, my partner Ed Nervine had decided to get the last word in before I could finish falling asleep, tuning his eyes to the new dark of me in the passenger seat as our lights went out. He'd sighed with a shut mouth on the engine's last shudder and confessed, "I'll always keep trying to fix you, son, but some things just won't be okay," before he'd stepped out to meet the landlord and left me in with the doors unlocked. My name is Peter Prengard, and a year, or maybe less ago, I was really something strong, someone wild at heart, someone with a destiny. But now, my last thought was that Ed might be right, and all it took was one thing getting to me. In my dreams, I've made a new fantasy, stitched together from scraps of my memories. It's one where I've still got my powers, where me and Ed are running good like we should be, and where I'm exercising something as the monstrous judge I was. The holder of the black flame that had burned in me, coming out of my fingertips at will. The flame I could mould like wet clay or sick like a hound and wield like the weapon it was all the same. And whilst I wouldn't have even known of those demons without Ed, let alone how to bind them to my world or do anything other than burn without his boundless studies, it was my black flame and the power I wielded with it that ate their insides out and devoured the possibility that any of those dark forces could triumph, and delivered those that accepted this into their rightful graves. And this time the demon isn't accepting its fate. This one's hiding around the corner of a room as I charge in without getting a word of advice from Ed, spinning round after I've already felt something large climb onto my shoulders and a sharp, incredible pain in the back of my neck, as I realise it's already got the drop on me. Then it starts biting and chewing into my neck as I make the black flame fill up the wound before my blood can get out of it. And whilst the bleeding stabilises, I pump more down my wrist and out of my palm to draw a burning sword. Reaching behind me, I wave wildly at the creature that continues to eat into the flesh of my neck, even as I make the fire fill up the new chunks it's tearing out of me. Before I give up the swinging, draw the sword back into my wrist and up my arms, across my shoulder and right out of the wound it's making. As the flames pour and surge, right into the creature's head as I give it all I have. And then the black flame's gone, and the creature's fallen off my back, and Ed Nervine's charging in with all his charms and trinkets lit up. But as I make the killing blow, no fire pumps through my veins, and the hole in the back of my neck starts to bleed and pour out again. As I collapse to the floor and watch as the black fire it stole from me starts to rush from the creature's hands. And I'm awake exactly 10 months since my power was stolen, and as I feel a windy chill creep into the car's stuffy microbiome and start to turn it tepid, I have to wonder how it's possibly been that long since I cast the flame, and how I even had it in the first place. How am I supposed to deserve it back if I'm left this way now? Ed's been kind enough to help me chase it all this way so far, but he started to pity me instead of holding sympathy like he'd seemed to. And he hasn't told me I'm becoming too much to part with, but he would have bothered to take me out of the car into the house and attempt to go. Straining myself to start sitting up, I managed to flinch a few stretches out of the shivers from what's barely even a crack my window's been left open by. Before I get a grip on my left hand with the other, fumbling to link the fingers and turning both hands outwards to give one last stretch, as I'm able to finally pull most of my muscles awake. Trying to focus on getting my surroundings back to me, I take in the familiar tailored leather interior and the litterings of coffee cups and food wrappers on the dashboard silhouetted against the dim moonlight, and the smell of the ready-made sandwiches we'd had between the miles of our journey. And yet I'm still able to catch myself dwelling on the fact that I could have just pushed the flame through my body, across my veins, and felt heat all my muscles awake for me in a heartbeat, before I pull myself off that train of thought and focus on using the strength I've got now to unbuckle my seatbelt, open the door crack, and stop for a second while I'm leaning out into the cool of the night to listen and feel for my monster. Ed had been too tired when he'd seen it to know enough of what was going on to do anything, but it had come on the night after our last exorcism together. He always told me it was something specially sent up from hell just to deal with me. Hunched over and improperly formed, with bony, stunted arms and legs and an oversized mosquito-like head. Somehow, the creature had snuck through the seals we'd always made around us, and got all the way to climbing on my back before he'd woken up, but by the time he managed to conjure a defense, it had already bit into me and sucked the fire out of my blood. The only thing I saw was its silhouette, pitch black and flickering like the abstraction of a monster against the moonlight. In that moment, I could have shot out a burning jet, strong enough to scatter its incinerated ashes over the winds. But it had been too late, and it had ran off with my power before I'd even known it was taken. But in its theft, it had left me with the ache of my power's absence, that infernal thinness where the fire should be bulging in my veins. And if I stopped trying not to dwell on its loss, and instead focus on that chill where my fire should be, I can feel exactly where it is. And now I feel it in the chill of the wind and through the empty space my hand is reaching towards as I lift my open palm up a little higher to wave right at where I know it's watching, and gradually start bending the fingers inwards around its head to get a tighter grip on what I know is in front of me, until my palms close by a fist pointing it right to the ground, and I can stab out a single finger at where I know it's waiting. The last time, it had been just an ache, fading in and out like a light bulb at the edge of my sight, or the slightest whiff of a bad smell already blown away from me. But now, it's like the flames yearning for me, and not fading, but sounding out like war drums in the distance. I know I'll answer the call.
Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, that's fine. Anyways, so after we heard that from Madison,
That's not
my
name.
favourite subscriber, Madeline.
Madeline.
We finally said the name right, guys. Oh my god.
Oh, wow.
But after we heard that little interjection, I like to say I'm still so grateful for everything, and I'll still be here, you know? I'll still be doing stuff, and I'll still be here for all of you. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm probably gonna go radio silent for like a month and then drop a feature-length movie. Who will know?